My brother used to play the X-Files. I don't know, for anyone that hasn't genuinely, like, gone through and watched the X-Files, it's an old show, but it holds up, bro. If you watch that show is freaky. Go watch the X-Files in the dark for long enough.
In the dark.
Like, some of
In the
it, you'll
dark.
be like, "Get that shit out of here,"
Yeah.
but some of it is so outlandish, like, it just sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
Once you get immersed in that show, bro, yeah, it's real deal. I remember there was a episode where a dude stuffed himself in like a vent and he's just like looking through the vent, but he was like some weird contortionist dude.
What?
Yeah, and it freaked me out,
That's
bro, when I was
crazy.
little.
There's a
And I don't
scene.
know.
There's a
Yeah.
character like that in The Flash TV show. It's
Hmm.
like a contortionist, and it was like the guy who played that character was like a real contortionist who could like he went on like America's Got Talent or some shit, and
Mm-hmm.
the guy's insane, and he came out of a vent in the movie too, or in the
Hmm.
TV show. Pretty interesting.
Huh. Some
Contortionists are
strange
crazy people, bro. They're
reoccurring themes. Who'd have known vents were there like claim to fame in fucking film. Um, Yeah, the first time I ever really saw like well, no, I'm not gonna say ever really saw contortionist stuff because my mom took me to like Cirque du Soleil when I was really little, and that was so cool. It was something weird. It was down on the waterfront in tents,
Mhm.
and I just remember, um, like they had the lights out in the whole place, and these people came through with like orbs, and it looked almost like a hula hoop, but it was like metal or something. It had to be steel. And they were all like moving around it. And they were in like all black suits, but they had like, I don't know, like lights on their hands or something that they could turn on. And
Oh
they would
yeah,
go off in the crowd and like steal people's things. Like they would return them.
yeah,
But like if you were wearing a hat, they'd take your hat, and go
yeah.
do like these different things. Yeah. But I say that to get to this. The first time that I really was like freaked out by contortionist shit, it was my friend, and it was the first time I ever took shrooms, and I was like sitting down on 62nd and Foster, and so I'm like outside of this tango club on a bench, and I had gone down there to get some Sunny D because vitamin C like helps intensify the like effects of mushrooms, and I was like, hell yeah, like I'd grown up listening to Mac Dre and shit, so like I've always wanted to try this shit, right? And so I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for these shrooms to kick in. I've already taken them. It's the 4th of July, so it had just gotten dark. And my friend is like contorting himself around and through almost like a figure eight in these bike stands. So there's like two little bike stands. They look like staples sticking out of the ground. And I'm like waiting for the shrooms to kick in. And you know how shrooms get all like wavy and depth
Yeah.
gets weird? So I'm sitting there and I'm like getting nervous and I'm like, oh man. And all of a sudden he starts freaking me out. And I look at the like sign from Round Table and it says like some kind of like crazy shit on it. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, bro, I was like, you need to stop. And he was like, stop what? And I was like, you're being weird right now. And he's like, nah, dude, you're actually being weird. And I was like, you're freaking me out. And he didn't stop. So I literally just took off running, bro. And I
Damn.
ran back to my friend's house. And I just remember like the shrooms kicking in, and I was so disoriented that every family, like, because it's dark and everyone's lighting off fireworks and shit, like, each group, each house that I ran by, it was like every three houses or so, I'd stop and be like, is this my friends? Like, trying to like figure it out. And people who were looking at me like fucking weirdo. Then I'd take off running again. Yeah, bro, shrooms can be intense. And I got to my friends, and they were listening to this dubstep song called Sierra Leone. I can't even remember who did it, but it was awesome. And my friend had like just tried Molly for the first time. So he's like laughing and he puts the headphones on me. And this other kid who is a friend of mine, he blew up his cell phone. Like he had been spending all afternoon crafting this like homemade like firework bomb basically out of like piccolo peats and all different kinds of stuff. Just typical like if you just imagine like a bad kid, like
Yeah.
that was kind of like us, like little bad kids. and on some crazy next level Bart Simpson shit. He built this shit all afternoon. So it was like a Dasani bottle, like filled to the brim with that shit. And he ran out in the middle of the street, and when he was lighting it, he forgot his phone there, and he comes running back. So I'm putting this song, I'm putting the headphones on, and it's like ooh, ah, like making this crazy
Oh
like
my god.
dubstep, and it just goes. And literally, when this thing exploded, I shit you not, both sides of the curbs, like on both edges of the street, just turned into like a half pipe of sparks. Like I don't know how they hit the edge and just like
Damn.
went up like that, but it literally looked like a half pipe of like Technicolor sparks. Just boom. And he was like, "Where's my phone?" And then he's like, "Oh shit!" And it was like all exploded. It was crazy. Yeah,
That's
and I just
insane.
remember, yeah, that was like one of the first time. Well, no, that was the first time I ever did shrooms. I wound up puking shortly after that.